pleasant good afternoon, all, and welcome to the Youth Empowerment Program 7th Annual Speech Competition under the theme Destined for Greatness. At this time, we would like to begin with the invocation by Ms. Lorraine Reckley, YEP Senior Director, Senior District Manager.
Good afternoon. Let us stand for a word of prayer. All heads bowed. Most gracious and heavenly Father, God, we come before you this day. For God, this is the day that you have made. Lord, we are going to rejoice and we'll be glad in it. God, we come before you right now. We give you thanks for the Youth Empowerment Program 7th year. Lord, we have been under the theme, winning with teamwork, dare to dream, imagine tomorrow, inspire hope. We have exceeded our limits. We have a passport for success. And today, Father God, we come before you because you say you know the plans you have for us. God, these, your contestants, are destined for greatness. Father God, we honor you, and we know your word will not return void. We give you thanks, we give you praise, for 7 is a year of completion. These and other words we ask in no other name but your Son, Jesus. Amen.
Today is a hallmark day for the Youth Empowerment Program. For with our speech competition comes the realization that communication is the backbone of our society. It allows us to form connections, influence decisions, and motivate change. The Youth Empowerment Program is all about producing a new child, a child that is ready for 21st century leadership in our great country. So as we continue being destined to greatness and moving our children to the next level, let's call upon Mr. Anthony Hall to give the welcome address.
Good afternoon, all YEP Board of Directors, YEP Executive Team members, management and voluntary team members, and most of all, to our students and parents of the YEP program. My name is Mr. Anthony Hall Jr., and I serve as the Director of Volunteer Services and Special Projects on the Executive Board for the Youth Empowerment Program. It is my esteemed pleasure to welcome you all to the 7th Annual Speech Competition for the Youth Empowerment Program. Students, let me be the first to say that I am extremely proud of your performance this far in the competition. You deserve a round of applause. You are all destined for greatness. Once again, students and parents, we welcome you. Students, we salute you, and good luck to you all.
The Youth Empowerment Program is all about changing lives. In our quest to change lives, we like to provide for our children mentors, positive role models in our society. And I say this to introduce our lovely panel of judges. Firstly, our Chief Judge, Ms. Derica Wilkes, is the Chief Judge, and she is a Toastmaster. Our second distinguished judge is Senator Jamal Moss, a board member for the Youth Empowerment Program. Then we have Ms. Brenda Harris Pinder, a board member. Fourthly, Ms. Heather Sutherland from Toastmasters. And our fifth distinguished judge, Attorney Michael Barnett Ellis. Please welcome our judges. At this time, we will call upon our Chief Judge to give the rules for our contest.
Good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, and participants. All speeches must be written by the contestant delivering the speech and should substantially be of original nature. All material not of an original nature should be cited or noted. Timing for presentations will be in 4 to 6 minutes. Any speech less than 3 minutes, 30 seconds, or more than 6 minutes, 30 seconds will automatically be disqualified. Timing begins with the first verbal or non-verbal communication with the audience. For example, singing, acting, or flicker of light, etc. Timing lights or cards will be used. A green light or card will appear at the 4-minute mark and remain on or up for 1 minute. An amber or yellow light or card will appear at the 5-minute mark and remain for 1 minute. A red light or card will be displayed at the 6-minute mark and remain up for 1 minute. There will be no indication of an overtime period. You will not be notified for disqualification due to timing. All contestants must remain in the room for the duration of the presentation. Any contestant not in the room when the winners are announced will be disqualified. Any contestants that arrive after the first contestant has begun his or her presentation will not be allowed to speak. Any protest must be lodged with myself or the chairman prior to the announcement of winners. Protests are limited to contestants and judges only. Absolutely no protests will be entertained after the announcement of the winners. Contestants, do well. I'll see you at the end of this race.
We will now call on our first contestant. Our first contestant is Mrs. Flowers. Mrs. Flowers, you now have the podium. Best of luck to all of you, and on behalf of the Board of Directors for the Youth Empowerment Program, we create winners. All of our students are winners. Let's just see who today stands out as the most outstanding speaker. Best wishes to you all.
Judges, my fellow opponents, a pleasant good day. Throughout the beginning of my high school years, I had always been determined to achieve great things. Failure was not a part of my vocabulary, and success was mandatory. During this time, I always strived to be the best at everything I did. The best singer, the best writer, the best speaker. For a long time, I had been driven so by the belief that nothing other than perfection was acceptable. I became so consumed by this belief that seeing past it was near impossible. I would push myself beyond the breaking point, and when my best still wasn't good enough, I would be completely distraught. Now, I sit back and I ask myself, why? Why was I so obsessed with being the best at everything I did? Why did I go beyond and above, push myself to defy all stereotypes and make not only myself, but all those around me proud? It is because I was trying to reach my destiny. According to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, destiny is defined as a predetermined course of events, often held to be an irresistible power or agency. It is also defined as the events that will necessarily happen to a particular person or thing in the future. My destiny was greatness, and I would have done absolutely anything to achieve it. Once I began to acknowledge the reason behind my consistent hard work and sleepless nights, my reasons behind wanting to be the best changed. It was no longer based upon the thought that perfection was the only option. Now, I was driven by the eagerness I possessed to achieve greatness. Instead of sitting at home and being entertained by the trivial things that social media had to offer, I would busy myself with the latest Jodi Picoult's book or TED Talk. Instead of going out and talking to all the cutest boys and going to the hype dances, I would push myself to stay on top of all of my classes. I knew that I was destined for greatness. But as the Bible says, faith without work is dead. So I worked and I worked. Eventually, though, I was faced with the challenge that most students today are facing. That challenge is recognizing that my destiny is completely unique. I had been trying so hard to imitate my idols that I began losing sight of my dreams. I began to slowly mold myself into someone completely unrecognizable. I hadn't realized that my destiny belonged to me, and that because of that, it would be completely different from those around me. I wouldn't go on to be a best-selling poet like Rupi Kaur, or a world-renowned neurosurgeon like Derek Shepherd. Instead, I would be the first place winner of the Phi Beta Sigma fraternity's essay and speech competition, and one of the top 5 students in my senior biology class. I wouldn't be the youngest speaker of the house in the Bahamas, but instead, I would be standing here, right now, on this stage. And that, in itself, is enough greatness for me. My greatness belongs to me. And with a dream, a clear vision, and a plan, greatness can be yours too, Madam Chairperson.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ear, for I know that we are instructed to learn the basic principles of the English language. Yet, I remember so candidly the concept of analogies, their use and their function. For example, bee is to hive as bear is to den, white is to black as up is to down, boy is to girl as man is to woman. Oh, but my favorite is, destined is to greatness, as greatness is to you, and you. Honorable judges, fellow orators, ladies and gentlemen, I bid you all good evening. But I mount this podium with the privileged task to not only inform, but to galvanize, enlighten, inspire, and fortify that every individual within this room is destined for greatness. For Jeremiah 29:11 says to us, "For I know the plans I have for you, thus said the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you a future and restore your faith." Such a revelation brings to mind the story of Oprah Winfrey, a woman raised in poverty, molested, pregnant at 14, raised in a single-parent home, and bruised beyond measure. But today, Oprah Winfrey stands with a net worth of about $2.9 billion. How about a young man born and raised in Hawaii in a single-parent home with a mother who was barely able to make ends meet? And on top of that, he was black. But because Barack Obama was destined for greatness, he became the 44th president of the United States. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, you may have started in the gutter, but that is not your end point. You may have started in a place of self-poverty, anger, bitterness, grief, but that is not your end point. You may have been told that you will never amount to anything, but know that you are destined for greatness, and failure is not and will never be your end point. Now, let's bring the phrase destined for greatness under close observation. According to dictionary.com, destined is defined as being bound for a certain destination, while for is defined as suiting the purpose or needs of, and greatness is defined as the quality of being great, eminence, and distinction. So, erudite judges, What the mood is simply saying is that you are bound and suited to be great. Oh, but not just great, distinctly great. What you do, how you do it, and why you do it does not matter, because you are bound to be great. Furthermore, the time to be great is now. It's time to think great, act great, dream great, but be great. The time to be small-minded, it's gone. It's now time to move forward, upward, onward, together. It's time to step into this 21st century as we step into 21st century thinking, 21st century ideals. Step into this 21st century era of greatness. But I find it quite pointless to think big but act small. For when you think big, your attitude must portray that of one who thinks big. And so you must think, I can be great. I will be great. Oh, but I must be great. Ladies and gentlemen, the greatness on each and every one of you in this room is so powerful and heavy. I mean, I could see the next Bill Gates, the next Mother Cynthia Pratt, the next Mark Zuckerberg, the next Steve Jobs, the next Doris Johnson, and the next Oprah Winfrey, and so much more. I even see the greatness on my own life. Ashton M. Clare, Student Council President today, but Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Ashton M. Clare, tomorrow, destined for greatness. Knowing and achieving greatness requires working toward your destiny. The most successful achievers are persons who have excellence as their hallmark. These are persons who are diligent, persistent, consistent, and determined to achieving great things. If you cannot do great things, do small things, but in a great way. If the journey takes 1,000 steps, begin with one. Trust your destiny. Orchestrate it, formulate it, litigate it, cultivate it, generate it, renovate it. But of them all, achieve it. Madam Moderator, before I leave, I want to leave you with a simple poem. It goes, roses are red, violets are blue. I am destined for greatness, and so are you. Madam Moderator.
Very much, Mr. Clare. We're going to give 2 minutes before we continue. All right, as the judges continue to tally, our third contestant for the Youth Empowerment Program, National Speech Finals 2019, destined for greatness, will be Miss Destiny Bridgewater. Destiny Bridgewater.
Purpose-filled entity. Beautiful creation. Perfection of the imperfect. Creme de la creme. You, the potter of your own pot and the director of your own destiny. I recall the day I asked my father, well, Daddy, why am I your only child without the letter J to begin my name? I mean Jason, Jasmine, Jared, Andrea? It seems to be some sort of correlation here. He told me that before I was born, my mother almost lost me, and it was an experience of a lifetime. Hence, he felt as though I was destined to be here, destined to have a future, and destined for greatness. So, he named me Destiny. Never underestimate the power of dreams and the influence of the human spirit. We are all the same in this notion. The potential for greatness lives within each of us. Wilma Rudolph. I am Destiny Bridgewater, a student and ambassador of a quality institution. God created us all with a purpose. Our purpose in life is the very meaning of our existence. And without knowing this, we often fall ignorant to our own significance. Proverbs 16 and verse 4 says, the Lord works out everything to its proper end, and even the wicked for a day of disaster. You weren't created as a placeholder, a prototype, or even as an experimental feature of this here world. You were created to fulfill Y-O-U-R, purpose. You may want to be a gastroenterologist, professional trumpeter, anesthesiologist, biomedical engineer, or even Constable 804. It all lies on what you love. In fact, a wise man once told me, when you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. When you embrace what you were designed for from your initial creation, you will never feel foreign. And when you become encapsulated in your purpose, you will never think about if this is what I really want to do, because you would have been doing it for a lifetime. If you can't figure out your purpose, figure out your passion. Destiny is defined as, by the dictionary, the events that will happen to a person or thing in the future. I mean, bound to happen, almost as if nothing could change the course of it happening, but you. You are the solitary piece to your life progressing, regressing, or reaching a plateau. You have to walk into your purpose. Let everything you do in life suit your purpose. Conform your life to suit your purpose. To be destined is to develop in such a way that you are in accordance with a pre-existing plan. See, destiny is not for the comfort seekers. Destiny is for the daring and determined, those who are willing to endure some discomfort, delay, gratification, and go where destiny leads. T.D. Jakes. One may ask what to do to achieve greatness. Faith in oneself. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. Hoped for. The evidence of things not seen. Hebrew 11 and verse 1. Sometimes you just have to take a deep breath and let confidence and trust guide you through. Once you've accepted that you have a purpose and begin to walk into your purpose, there will be haters, spectators, naysayers, antagonizers, and the very few motivators that will be friends for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Let no man, situation, nor circumstance hinder you from walking into your destiny. See, this world has its way of turning us against ourselves, but only if you let it. Have faith. Thrust forward. Never let the life that you were created to conquer you. Greatness is derived from the inside and channeled through a purpose to the world. We all know it's not an easy road. Yes, it may get rigid, even agonizing. We can all admit that greatness isn't a given. It's not handed to us on a silver platter, and it surely isn't achieved where it isn't pursued. Passion plus commitment plus sacrifice will help you on your road to greatness. See, greatness is in this wonderful, elusive, God-like feature that only the special among us will ever taste. It's something that truly exists in us all. To be destined for greatness is to be relentlessly persistent, blind to mediocrity, deaf to stupidity, unafraid of failure or correction, and responsible enough to become a capsule of change. My mother almost lost me before I even saw the light of day. But here I am, standing before you. I have been, and I always will be destined for greatness. I believe in this. What do you believe? Thank you. Yeah, my papers. Okay.
Our fourth speaker, Sonique Duncombe.
I was walking down Humility Avenue, and I turned on to Determination Lane. From a distance, I saw this huge silver gate labeled Success. I thought to myself, oh, that's interesting. Out of curiosity, I walked closer and closer. As I approached the gate, I noticed it was locked. Not one lock, not two locks, but 3 locks. My name is Sonique Duncombe, and I am here to let you know that success does not contain sincere humility and determination, but also confidence, character, and charisma. My first C is confidence. Confidence is something I myself struggle with. At times, I feel like I am under a microscope. I feel judged by my peers, by my teachers, by my parents, and even sometimes by the people of my church and community. Despite my struggles, I now know the value of having confidence has in my life. It has been the distinguished tool I need as the president of the South 1 district to show that I am a leader and I can take my district to the next level. I have learned that you must aim to the moon if possible. Aiming to the moon may seem a bit too high, but if you miss, at least you may land among the stars. After all, we all are destined for greatness. My second C is charisma, the ability to inspire through words of wisdom and education. I was sitting down one day and I realized if I just had one person to motivate me all the way, I could make a huge difference. Nobody came along like that. Therefore, I became that person for myself. I have learned that you must aim to the moon if possible. The moon may seem a bit too high, but if you miss, at least you may land among the stars. My second C is charisma. It is the ability to inspire through words of wisdom and education. I was sitting down one day and I noticed that if I just had one person to motivate me all the way, I could make a huge difference. Nobody came along like that. Therefore, I became that person for myself. I have learned that inspiration should not only be geared towards yourself, but also towards others. Why? Because self-inspiration is the best motivation of them all. After all, we all are destined for greatness. My third C is character. It is what we do when no one is looking and how we act when we are under pressure. It is my character that will set me apart from every individual that stumbles upon the gate to success. It is said, when health is lost, everything is lost. But when character is lost, everything is lost. Character is a person's whole individuality. It is their whole personality. A man without character is just a dead body hated by everybody. The blocks of confidence and charisma are all built on the steady foundation of my character. With that information being taken into consideration, I plotted a new and improved route to the gates of success. I started off on Humility Avenue, and I turned on to Confidence Street. I walked all the way down Charisma Close, and I jogged down Determination Lane. I struggled down Character Way, but there it was, a huge silver gate labeled Success. This time, it was open. I ran in, rejoicing. All my life's yearnings and dreams awaited me. To conclude, ladies and gentlemen, the route is before you. Take it, embrace it. All your life yearnings patiently awaits you. Madam Chairperson.
All right, things starting to get a little hot around here. Once again, you are at the Youth Empowerment Program's National Speech Finals 2019. This is our 7th year, and we are definitely building leaders who are destined for greatness. We call on our 5th speaker, Ms. Patronique Lamb. Patronique, you can come and take the podium while we await the judges' totaling.
Everyone has their dream of becoming the greatest doctor, lawyer, or even famous athletic person. We all believe that we are great, have the ability to reach for greatness, and claim our destiny. But do you have a purpose, plan, and a way of executing it? What is your plan to be destined for greatness? Madam Chairperson, distinguished guests, judges, opponents, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good evening. In a forever evolving world filled with crime and violence, leaders are not leading and teachers are not teaching. The minds of our youth are being corrupt. But if their courage sparks and shine its light, they would be brave enough to chase after their dreams and never give up. Like myself, I was completely lost on my journey to become destined for greatness. I was faced with struggles and hardships that had me doubting myself. But I did not let that determine my outcome in life. Why? Because I am dedicated to be that flower that grew from concrete. In order for me to execute the purpose I once envisioned, I had to lay out a plan. With my passport to success, I will become the greatest pediatrician and entrepreneur. Of course, the plans won't magically happen in the blink of an eye. Every action and thought must be accurate. After which, I must ensure that there is a measurable time frame in which this plan could be precisely executed. After which, you can't just sit around and wait for things to happen. Your dream won't achieve itself. For example, Dame Janet Bostwick. Dame Janet Bostwick, you may ask, a woman who strived to be great as men. She was one of the trendsetters that assisted women in exercising the same equal rights as men. She became an inspiration in my life and made a big impact, whereas I yearn to be the first female YEP president, as she was the first female to serve as Attorney General. Although it was depressing to not have achieved this, I had ambition to go after what I claimed to be mine. Many people viewed me as crazy for employing bravery in my life. But may I tell you, crazy people, they really changed the world. People said Christopher Columbus was crazy for employing bravery in his life. He was determined to find a route from the east to the west, while others said that he would fall off. People said Benjamin Franklin was crazy because he created a light bulb 1,000 times. But guess what? He changed the world. People said Thomas Edison was crazy for flying a kite in the thunderstorm, but he changed the world. My words to you is be as crazy as you like, crazy passionate, crazy driven. Fight the thoughts that bad is off your back and achieve for what you want. And guess what? Be destined for greatness in your own little crazy world. Madam Chairperson.
All right, crazy for YEP. As you can see, the competition is getting stiffer and stiffer. Joining us now is Miss Gabrielle Sherman.
In the words of Martin Luther King Jr., if you want to be important, wonderful. If you want to be recognized, wonderful. If you want to be great, wonderful. but recognize that he who is greatest among you shall be a servant. That's the new definition of greatness. Honorable judges, my fellow opponents, Madam Chairperson, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. What does greatness mean to you? In my opinion, greatness is living up to your goals and values and who you really are. People do not decide to become extraordinary. They decide to accomplish extraordinary things. Edmund Hillary. Philippians 4, verse 13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. You can achieve anything you set your mind to. It's time to rise up and attain your true potential. Don't listen to the naysayers in the market. The time is now to look into your dreams. Say to yourself, there's nothing you can do to stop my dreams. There's nothing you can do to refute my claims. I am destined for greatness. It doesn't matter if you attend a private school or a government school. It doesn't matter if you live Life-a-Key, Beantown, Carmichael Road. Don't let where you live or your nationality determine how great you would be. You're not achieving a 3-point or not attending the most expensive college? Will this determine how great you would be? No. When you feel like giving up, ask yourself, what am I fighting for? You have to have a pep in your step, a glide in your slide. If your dream doesn't scare you, it isn't big enough. Evaluate your goals to gain. Assign a value to your pain. Give it your all and let nothing remain. If you don't try, you won't gain. The road to greatness includes intense dedication, practice, work harder but smarter, measure your progress, and be mentally, physically, and emotionally prepared for anything that comes in the way of you achieving your dreams. An anonymous writer once said, you can judge me, you can ridicule me, but you can never beat me. You will never beat me. You will never shake nor break me. Without discipline, there is no success. If it's to be, it's up to me. I won't let anything hinder me. I must succeed. I will achieve because I control my destiny. I make the choice to do what's wrong or to do what's right. I would not blame another's lame if I lose focus and lose the game. God's given me potentiality. If it's to be, it's up to me. Greatness give me power and a bigger ego. Don't let what you can't do interfere with what you can do. Dream the impossible. Seek the unknown to achieve greatness. Guess what? Greatness is fulfilled by inspirations. Greatness is perspiration falling from the top like precipitation. Fulfill your aspiration and make the nation celebrate like emancipation. Put God first. Take action. Accept the truth. But most importantly, be persistent and never give up. When you are destined for greatness, it shows in everything you do. In order to be great at what you do, you must be dedicated. Greatness is never on sale. Greatness is never half off. It's all or nothing. It's all day, every day. Greatness is never on discount. It's been fun, but I have to run. Put my feet in the air, and I'm out of here. Madam Chairperson.
All right, our seventh speaker for the National Speech Finals 2019 is Ms. Jada McKenzie, speaking on the topic, Destined for Greatness. Jada McKenzie.
In the words of Brian Moran, and I quote, "Greatness isn't results or awards or championships. The reality is that greatness is based upon the actions you take moment by moment. And when you decide to do the things required to be great, you are great in that moment." My name is Jada McKenzie, a 17-year-old, and I am the Sergeant of Arms of YEP. And my objectives are to simply motivate you and introduce your mind to greatness. Can you imagine with me for a second? What comes to mind when you hear the phrase, destined for greatness? I think about what is greatness and what does it take to become great. I believe greatness is a state of mind because if you believe it, you can achieve it. As in tune with my own belief of what greatness is. According to philosopher Margaret Mead, greatness is a concept of a superiority affecting a person or object in a particular place or area. Furthermore, Mead says greatness can also be attributed to individuals who possess a natural ability to be better than all others. So how many of you believe, like philosopher Mead states, you are able to shine and be superior in whatever you put your mind to? Greatness is in every one of us. But just how many of us can raise our hands and attest to looking ourselves in the mirror every morning and proclaiming greatness over ourselves? The key thing about all of this is it begins with us. Every day we live our lives, we begin to write a story, creating the path to our destiny, and that is the power of now. As individuals, we personally face situations where we think that greatness would be the last thing for us. But I learned that in order to become great, we need to think great. We need to believe we are great, and we need to work with the mindset of becoming great. That then points us down the road we were born to travel. You can achieve greatness in 5 simple steps. First and foremost, keep God in your every thought. You may meditate upon why I say this. And I know for sure that during certain situations in life, we will need Him more than ever. Second, decide on your goals. It is a proven fact that greatness is undefinable, and you must find something that is concrete to focus on. Thirdly, you need to make sure your goals are SMART. This way, you can make sure your goals are specific, measurable, reasonable, obtainable, and timely. Moreover, you must always remain positive. You are never to doubt yourself, because with doubt, you can take 3 steps forward, and as soon as doubt fills your mind, you take 6 steps backwards. Also, please, never stop believing in yourself. It is your life that you are living, and nobody can live your life for you. The power to change your destiny can begin with something as simple as a thought, or sometimes it can begin with an educated response, or it can even begin with something as simple as writing a speech. So from this day onward, I want you to purpose in your mind that the only direction you are going is forward. When you step out of a door, you put your best foot forward. When you walk, you hold your head high and stick your chest out, and you let them see that this is what greatness looks like. You let them see that you are destined for greatness. And there is nothing holding you back, because no weapon formed against you, no weapon formed against me, and as a matter of fact, no weapon formed against us shall prosper. So, go and tell it to the salt-kissed shores of Inagua. Go and shout it from the highest hill in Cat Island. Go and shout it from the pink sandy beaches of Eleuthera. Tell them that we are on our way. We are destined for greatness. Chairperson.
Over the 7 years of the Youth Empowerment Program, we have constantly strived to prepare young leaders, to empower the next generation to not only take over what we do, but to even supersede what we've been able to accomplish with the Youth Empowerment Program. This year, as I sit back and listen to so many great orators, I am pleased to say that we are in a good position. Our country is in a good position because if you listen to some of the statements, some of the comments that have been made, we are truly destined for greatness in our country. So as we continue with the Youth Empowerment Program, National Speech Finals 2019, we call on our 8th speaker, Tashay Bain.
It's June 19th, 2019. The day that I'm supposed to walk across the stage, shake with the right, grab with the left, and allow my radiant smile to blind my ever so proud supporters. However, my name has yet to be called and anxiety begins to set in. I tremble, fearful of the idea that I cannot achieve greatness without my high school diploma. So, as I sit there, I begin to ask myself, where am I even destined to be? Where do I belong? How do these people expect me to achieve success if I don't have a high school diploma? Somehow, some way, I must show to them that I am more than capable, that I am destined for greatness. But how exactly can I do this? Astute judges, attentive audience, and my most worthy opponents. What is greatness? Is the Bohemian definition of greatness a two-door black Honda Civic accompanied with a pair of Atlantis grills and an Atlantis job? Or is greatness a CEO job with a 6-digit paycheck? Or is it my high school diploma? Ladies and gentlemen, the question that seems to be beyond me is, what if I never achieved those things? Am I not great? You may ask, how can we reach this site of greatness? Simply use the letters G for God, O for opportunity, and D for determination. Sometimes we plan these luxurious futures filled with enormous houses, grand cars, and money equivalent to dirt. But somehow we manage to forget someone who is so important. We forget about the man upstairs, but expect success to come knocking on our doors. Ludicrous, isn't it, audience? As Proverbs 16 verse 3 states, and I quote, "Commit to the Lord in whatever you do, and he will establish your plans." End quote. How can you plan for takeoff when the pilot of your plane is simply missing and aircraft control has yet to give the okay for takeoff? We must remember that he is the genie of our wishes, the pilot of our plans, and the best father figure that we can ever ask for. My grandmother always said to me, "Shay, if you put God first in everything you do, everything else will fall into place." Behind every door, there's an opportunity with an advantage waiting to be obtained. Kester Thompson once said, and I quote, Destiny is where success and opportunity meet, end quote. As millennials, we must realize that the opportunities that are afforded to us today can sometimes never be regained. When an opportunity is thrown at us, it is our decision whether we will catch it with both hands or simply allow it to slip out of our grip. Should you lose hope because plan A failed? Of course not. Blossoming from the flower of failure is an opportunity to begin again, to reassess, to reevaluate, and to rise from the ashes, this time with much more intelligence and much more determination. When my grandfather lost his job and school fees were past due, I felt like it was my responsibility to find a scholarship. It was my decision to remain discouraged or determined in finding this. Of course, I was never first or second in academics or sports, but I paved my own way to greatness when I realized that I could not allow these obstacles to get in my way. I knew that with the secret recipe of God, opportunity, and determination, somehow, some way, I would be destined for greatness. The same boiling water that hardens an egg also softens potatoes. Will your circumstances allow you to turn into one hard egg with a hard coat, or will you, just like those potatoes, soften in boiling water? So once again, ladies and gentlemen, I ask, who is great? Is it the man who endlessly slaves over a hot deep fryer in KFC for an honest living and spends immense amounts of time with his family? Or is it the busy CEO with a 6-digit paycheck, yet spends little to no time with his family? Is greatness defined as the head girl who graduated with 9 A's in her BGCSEs and as valedictorian of her class, yet settled for a family of 5 and a stay-at-home job? Or did I become great, ladies and gentlemen, when I decided that not achieving my high school diploma would not stop me? So once again, judges, I ask, what makes us great? Is it the legacy we leave behind or the life that we live? Madam Moderator.
In helping the Youth Empowerment Program continue to do the wonders that we do. So as you think about it, I call on our 9th speaker, Nakisha Isma, to speak on the topic, Destined for Greatness.
I'm here to crush your dreams and add fuels to your actions. Wake up! I say, I'm here to bring you discipline and discomfort as I burn your laziness, procrastinating mind, and your apprehension to act. As your fierce godmother for today, I'm here to tell you that there is no fairy godmothers, and life is not a fairy tale. I'm here to tell you that you are destined for greatness. Judges, ladies and gentlemen, I bid you an auspicious good evening. Are you ready to become future kings and queens? Are you ready to put on your crown of consistency, wear your robe of discipline, and hold firmly to your staff of action? Allow me to elaborate thoroughly on my ambiguous introduction. I want to crush your dreams. Why? Because greatness doesn't come when you're sleeping, but instead, it's the nightmares that keep you up on your feet and urge you to take action and work for what is yours. Eric Thomas, a famous motivational speaker, wakes up at 4 a.m. every day. Oprah Winfrey wakes up at 6 a.m. without an alarm. Why, you may query? This is because while most of the world is dreaming and sleeping at this time, they are up, taking action and getting a head start of the day. Wake up and take action before another snatches your dreams because you were counting Z's. Can you imagine if Martin Luther King Jr. just had a dream and did not take action? Or if Maya Angelou and our very own Sir Lyndon Penland only dream? How would we be living today? Black people in particular would have still been in an abysmal situation. It's great people like them that helped make a difference in helping me and you. That's their history. We have the book now. I say again, wake up and take action in order to accomplish all the great things that has been thrusted upon you. Now that you are holding the staff of actions firmly in your hands, it is crucially important that you wear the robe of discipline. In order to earn this robe, you have to be willing to do what is right, regardless of how you feel, who agrees or disagrees with you, sacrificing what you want for what you will need. Things will get more difficult, but follow your plans and your goals regardless. That's what all great people have in common. Furthermore, consistency is key, my child. It is the crown that makes you royal. Emergency, emergency, breaking news. Queen Elizabeth decides to be queen only for one day and only when she feels like it. So therefore, now there's a riot, commotion is happening, things are being broken, blood is being shed, and so is the heart of a nation just because our queen decides to not be consistent. Would you believe this outrageous decision, this outrageous scenario, even if I played it over and over in your mind 1,000,000 times? With that being said, make it your daily routine to work consistently, and you will achieve greatness consistently. I repeat, work consistently, and you will achieve greatness consistently. Don't start and not fight till the end, for greatness is upon you. So be not afraid of greatness anymore, for if you are consistent, taking action, and being disciplined, you will leave a legacy. According to my fierce godmother instinct, it will be proven that the lack of discipline, lack of consistency, and not taking action is a witch that is poisoning people mentally, adding venom to their thoughts, killing their desires, and cursing them from achieving greatness. Wake up. Are you going to allow this abysmal witch, also called self-doubt and laziness, to have an adverse effect on your future? Wake up, kings and queens, for you are destined for greatness. Madam Chairperson.
Over the last 7 years, the Youth Empowerment Program has worked with thousands of young children throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And our quest has always been to prepare, to empower young people to be 21st century citizens. As you see demonstrated here today, we have so many children who have the tools and the formulas necessary to be destined for greatness. Our quest, as always, is to encourage more young people to partner with us. So as we listen to our 10th speaker, Amy Davis, on the topic of destined for greatness, be prepared to be dazzled by the Youth Empowerment Program, because our question is always to everyone, are you ready to be a part of this movement? Amy, we welcome you.
Imagine growing up in poverty to a single teenage mother, not knowing how or when you will get your next meal. Imagine wearing a dress made out of potato sack by your grandmother. Imagine getting whipped so badly almost every day that you would develop welts on your back and those welts would bleed. Imagine getting another whip for getting blood on that potato sack dress. Visualize being sexually assaulted from the ages of 9 to 13 by your cousin, uncle, aunt, family friend. Can you picture being pregnant at the age of 14 and carrying that baby in great shame, only to have it die prematurely a few days after birth? This is the adolescent life of Oprah Winfrey. In acknowledging the fact that protocol has already been established, good evening. Being destined for greatness does not mean that you were brought up with everything. Just because your situation is not ideal now does not mean it can't get better. Make your declaration and start on your journey to greatness. To be great, you must first want to change your situation. Remove yourself from what is holding you back. Say goodbye to the things that are keeping you from fulfilling your full potential. After Oprah realized that things were not going to turn in her favor as she remained in her current situation, she made the effort to change it. Miss Winfrey decided to move in with her father in Tennessee to start fresh. Once you put yourself in a stable position, you can now aim to be great. To be great does not mean to be rich. It does not mean to have an 018 Honda or a pretty face. To be great means to be above average. To be above average, you need an education. When Oprah moved in with her father in Tennessee, she decided to get an education at Tennessee State University to start a career in communications. She knew that education was the most powerful weapon she could use to change her world. During high school, Miss Winfrey realized her strength in public speaking, which encouraged her to take up a part-time job at a local black radio show. If you have an idea on how you can better yourself, act on it. Make a plan and follow through. Once you put yourself in a stable position, you can now further succeed your limits. As you better yourself, think about where you want to go. Where is this journey going to take you? You also have to figure out where your potential lies and how you can maximize it. When Oprah landed that job at the local black radio show, she did not just settle for a mediocre life. She maximized her opportunities and became the youngest female anchor and the first black female news anchor at Nashville's WLAC-TV. While maximizing her potential, she faced an enormous amount of negativity. But if you feel that you are failing, or you feel that no one is on your side, never give up. Never let someone or something stop you on your journey to greatness. The trick is to be proud of yourself when you succeed, and when you fail, always have faith that next time you will win. Remember, you owe it to yourself to be great and to set an example on how to achieve greatness. With Oprah's persistence, she became a communications mogul, outlasting numerous personalities in her field. With the strength to block out negativity, the courage to be a better version of herself, and the determination to become a great talk show host, Miss Winfrey is considered one of the top-rated talk show hosts of all time. Miss Winfrey knew where she was headed, and she made a plan and followed through. When you've reached a comfortable point in your life, do not just settle for mediocrity. Make a new plan to get to a new stage. After 3 years of being an employed talk show host, Miss Winfrey changed that around and became a self-employed talk show host. In 1986, Winfrey renamed the show The Oprah Winfrey Show. She knew where she was headed and she followed through with her plan. Once you've reached your goal in life, try to make things better for those around you. Her story is a perfect example of what's possible regardless of where you come from. The girl who wore potato sacks as dresses is now a billionaire and the founder of Leadership Academy, a school that helps young girls in South Africa. When Miss Winfrey was in a better position, she made it better for those who could not help themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, when you have the opportunity, reach back
and pull someone up with you. Do not become demoralized of where you are now in life. Oprah Winfrey once said, turn your wounds into wisdom. I assure you that we all can be destined for greatness. Thank you.
Many may ask, what is it that the Youth Empowerment Program does to build leaders? Look at it today. What have we done just by the public speaking abilities demonstrated in our children? We've built children whose critical thinking skills have improved. We've built kids whose communication skills have improved. We've built kids whose confidence in their ability to be agents of change in our country. So now I call on our 11th speaker, Ross Cates, as we continue to talk about Destined for Greatness. Mr. Cates.
Imagine a girl raised in poverty, molested, pregnant at 14, raised in a single-parent home, bruised beyond measure. But now, imagine a woman with a net worth of $2.9 billion. Nonetheless, she is a woman that was and still is destined for greatness. Today, Oprah Winfrey remains to be the most highly successful black woman in the world. Now envision a man with a net worth of $880 million, but a man who was raised in a home where he was abused physically, sexually, emotionally, kicked out of high school, attempted suicide not once, but twice. A man with a vision that failed 6 times, but greatness sparked on the 7th try. Today, Tyler Perry remains to be the most highly successful man in the entertainment business. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed judges, chairperson, never underestimate the power of dreams and the influence in the human spirit. We are all in the same notion. The potential of greatness lies within each and every one of us. William Rudolph. Do you ever wonder why your light shines so bright? Have you ever looked at something and thought, that could be better? I could do it better. Do you appear different from your other siblings and wonder why? Do you find yourself doing things a little bit better than others? If the answer to most of all these questions are yes, the chances that you were born to win and that you are destined for greatness. Eckhart Tolle said, you are here to enable the divine purpose of the universe to unfold. That is how important you are. Born winners who are destined for greatness knows it's possible to live into the massiveness of their visions and become as great as they desire. Some people who are born to stand out uniquely are leaving lasting impressions on others. Are you among the one who was born to win and predestined for greatness? Were you born to be prominent in your particular way? Several telltale signs that handwritten on the wall and that you are born to win and are destined for greatness. A person born to win and predestined for greatness, born not to play it safe in a comfort zone. He or she understands no one can or will ever achieve greatness playing it safe on the easy street. There are 3 tips that I feel if you are destined for greatness, you must have. Firstly, you are a problem solver. Similar to resourcefulness, if you are a natural problem solver, you are practically made to be an entrepreneur. However, beyond that, being a natural problem solver is a sign that you are destined for greatness no matter what you do. That's because problem solving is critical to vertically everything we do, from overcoming a common day-to-day challenges that hinder you productively from figuring out your next big business idea, by identifying problems and thinking of a creative solution in the form of a product or service. Nothing stops you from accomplishing your goals. Are you the kind of person who always finishes what he or she starts? If you always complete what you set out to do, no matter what happens, and never allow yourself to settle or quit on your dreams, you possess one of the most valuable qualities a person can have. And the key to realizing greatness is in an endeavor. You're relentlessly persistent. If you're the kind of person who goes up every time you get knocked down and pushes forward through rain or shine, that a definite sign you're destined for greatness. Persistence is a quality that virtually all widely successful people display. The level of rejection, failure, and setbacks one's inability faces has to be weathered in order to achieve greatness. Persistence helps you to maintain the energy necessary to get there. No man that is truly great, who was great only in his lifetime. The test for greatness is the page of history. William Hazlitt. Thank you and good day.
But the road to greatness also proves one valuable lesson, that each of us have our own paths, our own journeys. With the Youth Empowerment Program, we accept children where they're at, and we help them move to the next level by exposing them to academics, sports, clubs, organizations, and of course, speech competitions. So as we go into our 7th Speech Finals 2019, continuing with the theme Destined for Greatness is Mr. Michael Prescott.
Do you know what it feels like to be abandoned by the person that brought you into this cruel world? Left to fend for yourself, all alone, with no guidance, no protection, no comfort, nothing. At the age of 2 months old, my deadbeat mother decided that she could not manage being a mother and a prostitute concomitantly. So I guess she had to give up one role. For as long as I could remember, I was an orphan, wrapped up in a heftiest garbage bag and thrown out the door like I was some sort of trash. I could still smell the toxic fumes that radiated from the garbage. Or was it my dirty diaper? I was found and transmitted to the best foster home in town. These scars and wounds that are plastered all over my body speaks volumes of what I incurred over these few years. Distinguished judges, audience, and my most worthy opponents, good evening. My name is Michael C. Prescott, Jr., the proud assistant treasurer at the great and opulent South 2 District. Today, I have a burning question for you. By a show of hands, how many of you believe that you are destined for greatness or even destined to become great one day? Thank you. Personally, I believe that everyone was born with at least an inkling of greatness within themselves, but simply need to unlock their full potential. I stand firm with the remarkable views of David Butler and Emily Bell Freeman, as they state, and I quote, "There is a spark of greatness waiting to be ignited within you. You had the potential to be great. You were not sent to this earth to play small, to shrink, to fail. You were made for amazing things. You were made to be remarkable." When you think of the word greatness, do you think of someone who is arrogant, someone who is selfish, someone who is dishonest? If you do, I do not know what type of sick and twisted world you are living in, but it is certainly not this one. When I think of the word greatness, the first individual that comes to mind is the great Michael Jordan. Despite Jordan missing over 1 million shots in his lifetime and career, He remained persistent, and he stayed focused on his goals and aspirations. Now look at Jordan now. He does not even play anymore. But since he developed his brand, he no longer works for his money. His money works for him. The same drive that I saw within Michael Jordan is the same I see within myself. I will always strive for my goals. This year, I have a goal of becoming the next YAP Student of the Year, and nothing will deter me away from that goal. When it narrows down to academics, I will never settle under any circumstances. If it is not 101%, I don't want it. Period. Believe it or not, there are 4 simple ways to elevate the greatness that each and every one of you was born with. All you have to remember is my personal acronym, SEWA. S-E-W-A. SEWA. First, set SMART goals. SMART goals refer to goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Then, E, envision your goal. Keep your goal in sight and never take your eyes off of it. If you do, you will lose track of it. After envisioning your goal, next, W, work toward your goal. Be persistent and learn from your mistakes. After working toward your goal, finally, achieve your goal. After hard work, everything will pay off. Though I may have come from an abusive and dysfunctional home, getting beaten time and time again with anything that was near to touch, I stayed focused on my dreams and aspirations. Now look at me now. Good grades, substantial amounts of achievements. I'm at the top of my game. I remembered my acronym. I remembered SEWA. I set SMART goals. I envisioned my goals. I worked toward my goals tirelessly. And finally, I achieved my goals. Everyone and everything is truly destined for greatness. Thank you.
The Youth Empowerment Program continues to dazzle. Coming to us next is contestant number 13, D. Tonique Knowles, speaking on the theme, Destined for Greatness.
Madam Chairperson, distinguished guests, fellow opponents, good evening. From an early age, I knew I was destined to do or to be something great. Little did I know at the time that everyone thinks the same thing. It's a universal feeling inside of us. We've all been given unique and amazing abilities and talents that could help us realize greatness. Only thing was, I didn't realize how many obstacles I'd had to pass to get so far in life. I've never been a person to share my past, to allow others to fantasize about the things that I've been through, to get to this upcoming step that will not only change my life, but the lives of others. I was looking for someone to inspire me, motivate me, keep me focused on the goals and aspirations I had set for myself. I once thought that everything I imagined myself to be will never come to reality. And whenever I hand my anxiety to Oxcord, she makes sure to play back all the times I was told that I was and will always be just a plaything. The negative thoughts that had traumatized me during my hardest times would be repeated, deconstructed, and analyzed in my head 1,000,000 times. And after that, I would try to bring myself up to power. One of the best things I've learned is that not everyone is supposed to be for you. Not everyone is supposed to like you. You can't reach your destiny without opposition. For example, Albert Einstein would have never created relativity if it weren't for his teacher that diagnosed him with autism. Walt Disney would have never created Mickey Mouse and hold the record for most Oscars won by an individual if he had not been fired from a newspaper that told him that he lacked imagination. And SpongeBob would have never gotten the crown if it wasn't for Plankton that told him he couldn't do it because he's just a kid. Do you know what these persons did? They're proving their opposition, I mean enemies, I mean haters, wrong. One does not need another to create their destiny. You are who you've been looking for. But the reason why you have that empty feeling in your chest is because you think you're not blessed with everything that you need. Due to the battles of life, we find it difficult to see beyond our own layers of clay. We are born to win, yet sadly, we are conditioned to lose. Beginning from childhood, the way we were raised and the things that were said to us. But success has no respect of persons. How many times have you been stuck in the mental prison of overthinking? My answer would be one too many times. Your mind is the most powerful source you will ever face. It will tell you lies like, you're not good enough. You ain't looking too hot in that outfit. And you know you ain't ready for this, right? But you have to be that sponge which can absorb all the negativity and become that person which can emit positive, beautiful vibes. One day, while my grandmother was watching her favorite TV show, she shared to me what she dreamt that I would become. She envisioned me as an educator, someone who expands the minds of persons who know little about the world, or someone counting money behind closed doors, making life better for all. That dream cannot be stopped. Not by time, not by someone else's decisions, not by a decision that I've made in my past. But I would have to work hard. I would have to do my best in order for these goals to take place. This is why the quote, faith without works is dead, is completely true. You could have all the faith in the world, but if you don't make a step towards your goal, you're like a ship without a sail, driven in any direction, usually ending up nowhere. That dream, her dream, links in. For a dream of excellence cannot be stopped. The doors in reality are already opened, and all you have to do is walk through. Madam Chairperson.
All right, we're getting up there. We're now going to call our 14th contestant, Rashad Bain. Rashad Bain will speak to us on the theme, YEP, Destined for Greatness.
Anyone, and I mean anyone, can be destined for greatness. However, it's those that work the hardest that are usually the greatest. Chairperson, honorable judges, most worthy opponents, good evening. Individuals like Martin Luther King Jr., Michael Jackson, and Sir Lyndon Pendant are people who are similar to the common man. They were also destined for greatness. But the difference between us and them, they believed they was destined for greatness and put work to become great. They rose above their circumstances and fought for what they wanted. Martin Luther King Jr. wanted to decrease violence in the world. Keep in mind, murder rate is through the roof, and riots was breaking out everywhere across America, especially in Detroit. He worked tirelessly to ensure this came to pass. People witnessed his efforts and is willing to fight for what he wanted. They began to believe in him. They followed him because they saw Martin Luther King Jr. had a vision. You don't have to be famous to be great. Martin Luther King Jr. said, not everybody can be famous, but everybody can be great, because greatness determined by service. He reassured himself that he was destined for greatness and put action behind his words. Saying that you're destined for greatness, but no action behind your words, is like having faith without work, which we all know is dead. Michael Jackson didn't become the king of pop overnight. As a matter of fact, he wanted to be in the Jackson 4, but his father declined him. But that didn't get to Michael Jackson. He practiced and practiced to prove to his father he can do it. A talent show came up. Michael Jackson was ready. He did what he does best and proved to not only his father, but everyone in that stadium that he can do it. From that day on, the Jackson 4 became the Jackson 5. You will have to fail to become great. It's a part of your growing process. However, it's your decision to bounce back up. No matter what, no star is too far to reach. And you never give up. A word said by the king of pop, Michael Jackson. It doesn't matter how short you are, how strong you are. Everyone is equally great. Martin Luther King Jr. A perfect example of a man who is destined for greatness. Sir Lyndon Oscar Pinland. In his time, black people was treated poorly and voices carried no weight. Sir Lyndon Pinland wanted fairness for his people and equality for all. He believed in himself and stood for his people, just like Martin Luther King Jr. He also had a vision, and people believe in his vision because they saw his efforts. Sir Lyndon Pinland, to this day, is respected and remembered for what he's done for the Bahamas and also the Bahamian people at large. To my fellow Bahamians, please remember that one of the greatest psychological challenges that has overtaken the Bahamian people in years since 1967 is his sense of pride of being a Bahamian. Sir Lyndon Pinland, May 9, 1972. As I wrap this speech up, anyone, and I mean anyone, can be destined for greatness. No matter your circumstances, on the road to greatness, you will be knocked down, but it's your choice to get back up. You can't become great without any work to show. I'm destined for greatness. The question is, are you? Madam Chairperson.
Powerful, powerful. All right, now, 16 contestant, Mr. A.J. Butler.
What?
Is it Mrs.?
Aja.
Sorry, Aja. Sorry, Aja. We'll call on Miss Aja Butler, our 16 contestant, under the theme, Destined for Greatness.
It was only after I ate a small plate of kingdom chicken and fried rice from Mike's and gulping down my thirst-quenching mystic, I read a fortune that said, land is always in the mind of a flying bird. Powerful, isn't it? Now, I'm not the one to believe in fortune-telling of any kind, but who am I to argue about what was written on that paper? Esteemed judges, distinguished guests, fellow orators, a pleasant evening. Would you be so gracious as to lend me your eyes, focusing them directly to me and the sound of my voice, as I tell you that I knew a way for you all to be successful. Nah, this ain't no join the loom type thing or spin to win. None of that fast money foolishness. Oh, devil, no. This is a 100% guaranteed plan to be destined for greatness. Soaring to new heights. But what are you soaring to? How can you fly a plane and do not know where you're going? You must have got a lifetime supply of gas to be in the air all day, moving with the wind. What is it that you want to do with your life? Before anything, you must have a clear vision. Your vision should be so clear that it makes glass look dingy. Because without a clear vision, you cannot succeed. How can I say I want a prosperous life, but don't know how I will gain these riches? The time you take laughing at the man selling bootleg movies on KFC line, you should be figuring out what you want to do with your life. Next, you must prioritize your values. Having a clear vision makes it easier to bypass those distractions. Once you know what your goals and aspirations are in life, and you plan to work towards them, you will be able to fulfill your vision and become successful. Ladies and gentlemen, when was the last time you saw a shy salesperson or entrepreneur? You must not be afraid of challenges and back down. You must find something that you are passionate about and do it to the best of your abilities. The road to success is not easy. No one ever said it was. The road is filled with many nooks and crannies, bumps and blemishes, and people that will come in your way, cut across you, and make you crash. But it is dedication, patience, and perseverance that will get you through. Would you believe that Theodore Zeus Giesel, world's famous children's illustrator and author, was rejected 27 times? Say what? Say what? Say what? 27 times from different publishers because they thought that his Cat in the Hat books wouldn't sell. But Mr. Giesel, who before his tragic death was worth over $75 million because of that exact same book. So it was him who had the last laugh. No one would have been able to pick up a copy of one of these books if it wasn't for his persistence. You must be able to swoop down on opportunities. There are lots of opportunities in the world. And just by saying a 3-letter word, Y-E-S, yes, can make an ordinary life become extraordinary. Don't be a parrot in life. A parrot talks way too much, but can't fly high. But an eagle is silent and has the willpower to touch the sky. Every one of you in this room is destined for greatness. Repeat after me. No road is too long. No road is too long. No problem too big. And no blessing too small. That's the spirit. As I exit this podium, I will leave you with this quote. When a storm is coming, all other birds seek shelter, but the eagle soars above the storm by flying above it. So, in the storms of life, may your heart soar like the eagle who is destined for greatness. Madam Chairperson.
All right, that brings our contest to an almost close. What I want you to do is put your hands together for our 16 contestants.
Thank you.
In their own right, all of them are destined to greatness. If you didn't notice it, each one of those presentations were well researched. Time and energy were put in it. And so all of our contestants are destined to greatness, and we expect great things of them in the coming years. At this time, we're going to ask our judges to please go into another room so that they can deliberate and come back and give us our winners. All right? At this time now, I'm going to call on our CEO and President, Mr. Delano Monroe, to give his remarks.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Wonderful. I'm not up here to give you a perfect speech on Destined for Greatness. I'm going to make my remarks extremely brief because we're being recorded today, and we want to make sure that the focus is on our wonderful contestants and nothing else. So I want to acknowledge the board of directors that are here today, our wonderful board of directors. Some of them served on the panel judging today, our executive team members, Ms. Joseph, Mr. Hall, Mr. Taylor, Mr. Vara Hepburn, who has so amazingly coordinated the speech competition this year. Let's give it up for Ms. Hepburn, who did an awesome job. All of our mentors, our district managers, our students who are here, supporters, parents, I see all of you in the audience, fellow district, our students, thank you very much for coming. It's your support that makes a difference. All of the wonderful parents, I see all of your beaming faces. You're beaming with pride today, and you have no other choice. These students did amazing. They came from 1,200 students. Every student in the Youth Empowerment Program had to prepare a presentation. So they came from a preliminary round with some 1,200 students. Then they went on to a semi-final round with a few hundred students, and then they ended up here with just these top 16. But it goes even further than that. In addition, we have Abaco, which is a part of the competition today. So we have representatives from Abaco here. So let's give it up for Abaco, who flew in today to ensure that she participated. The district manager for Central Abaco is joining us today, Ms. Precious Bethel. I think she stepped out of the room. We want to acknowledge her. My good friend, Ms. Daisy Tyrese from the Ministry of Sports, Youth Sports and Culture. Thank you so very much for being here. Our esteemed judges are from Toastmasters throughout the competition. Toastmasters has partnered with the Youth Empowerment Program in terms of judging, coaching, mentoring, and preparing these students for what you see here today. I was sitting down on the front row on the side of Mr. Hall and Ms. Bethel, and I said to them, oh my God, the judges are going to have a rough time. This is not going to be an easy road for those judges. And I can tell you, any one of those 16 students can walk out of here as a winner today. YP is going to provide some nice prizes for them. Everyone will walk away with a trophy for making it this far as a finalist. The top 3 will receive additional trophies and prizes ranging from a brand new laptop computer, a tablet, and a smartwatch. And the winner will also receive $1,000 in scholarship funding. So, ladies and gentlemen, these students are amazing. We do tremendous work with them in the Youth Empowerment Program. Our mentors do extremely, even more amazing work. And you, the parents, because I know when they come home, you have to be the coach. You have to be the mentor, and you have to be the perfectionist with them in the mirror. So parents, everyone, I just want to say thank you to all of you. So that concludes my remarks. We promise to be brief, and we're going to go straight into the presentation of trophies to all of our finalists. Madam Chairperson.
All right, I'd like to invite Mr. Hall and Ms. Joseph to the front to assist, please, with the presentation of trophies.
Good evening, everybody. I just wanted to speak to everybody briefly. There was a student who came in after the competition started, and you will be aware that at the very beginning of the proceedings, we announced that if you came afterwards, that you wouldn't be allowed to speak, and you would be disqualified. We've had the opportunity to speak with the students about how they felt about it, and this is democracy in action. They have made a certain determination that we have taken into consideration in our deliberations.
Thank you. Contestants, you all did an exceptional job. Unfortunately, we were faced with the task of choosing the best 3. So in third place, we have Tishay Bain. Oh, we didn't tally up the points. We just did. In second place, Mr. Ashton Clare. In first place, we have Miss Destiny Bridgewater.